James Wood, so great to have you in the house.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to be in the house.
Me too.
Yes,
so
fired up.
If you don't know James, he is a serial entrepreneur. He is an author, an incredible speaker, and you also have a background in football and ministry.
Isn't that wild?
Isn't that wild? So let's talk about that.
It's like
Where do we begin?
the preaching quarterback, right?
Yes, but like for a pretty big football team.
My background is all over the place. It's so unique and different. Kind of growing up like I grew up, and I'll share some of that with you.
Well, you have quite the story, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today, too. You have so much to share, and you're with this incredible company called LifeWave as well.
Yes.
So then how did it all begin for you then? Like, how did this business, what was the first, it started there. And then how did you actually build your business and get into it, and how that affect your life?
So the very first company was a water filtration business. And I bought 6 water filters. I went home for Christmas back to Miami, and I started putting these water filters on people's sinks. Well, it turns out that the area that we all grew up in was a natural aquifer underneath everyone's homes, and so their tap water was better than my filtered water.
Oh, no.
So
I wouldn't say that's a great start then.
I literally ended up giving all 6 water filtrations to friends as Christmas presents.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was in that business.
You tried, though.
I was in for like 2 months.
Okay, then that didn't work out.
But I caught the vision. And I caught a vision of people helping people helping people. Or I like to say teachers teaching teachers how to teach. Mm-hmm. And so that vision was inside of me. Fast forward, I then joined another company that I stayed with that business for 14 years. And that's where I really cut my teeth in the industry. That's where I had mentors like the one I shared with you that told me, if you want to make a change in your life, you really ought to think about making a change in your life. And so spent 14 years with that business. That's where I really began to develop the skills of really the art of communication, how to have a conversation that's a business conversation, but also really digging in and identifying what's important to people.
Yeah.
Going past the surface of, hey, would you like to make a few extra bucks?
Right.
To let's talk a little bit deeper. So I learned that there. And then fast forward, I landed in a business that was almost a joke. I didn't know I was going to get in this business. It was I saw an ad online, and I said to this guy, my mentor at the time, I said, I think I could do that. And by the way, everything I had done prior, we had very minimal success.
Even with the one that you were in for 14 years.
That was all about the education.
Oh, so you weren't, okay. So you're just learning
never made more than $2,000 a month in that company.
Okay.
But everything I learned, when all of a sudden the company came up, I looked at it, I got started. Within 18 months, we had built a team of 26,000 people. We were the number 1 earners in the whole company. And it's like everything was wonderful. So it just seemed like an overnight. I joked around, people were like, wow, you did this in 18 months. I said, no, we actually did it in like 17 years. It just looked like 18 months.
Right. Yeah.
So
completely.
Yeah.
And then, so then you ended up in that company.
We ended up in that company. I'll give you the fast rundown of all
how many companies did you, just to know.
So I was with that company. That company made some decisions to sell the entire database of people that had built it.
Ooh.
And so it was kind of like having the carpet pulled out from underneath you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And so from there, I kind of went into more of the consulting world. I started consulting companies in that industry and outside of that industry. And then from there, we dabbled with a few different companies and did well. But then in 2016, we built another company that was a brand new startup and had tremendous success with building a team. We built a team of over 100,000 affiliates in 11 months. It was like one of those wild rides, out of control. And it was fun. We built a massive team. That was great. Unfortunately, that company made some poor decisions again, and we had to start over. And so in 2016, I said, I will never do this again, ever. And I stayed on the speaking side and the consulting side. I just poured all my energy into either individual organizations within companies or companies as a whole. So we started doing consulting, helping them with compensation plans, helping them get things in order so that they wouldn't pull the rug out from underneath people.
Wow.
And I spent most of my time doing that. Also,
so you helped build these companies.
I helped kind of lay the foundation with some of the companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how did you find out about LifeWave? Well, I kind of have an idea how you found out.
Yeah. So you know Renata.
I do.
My good friend Renata.
Yes.
Renata and I met years ago at another networking event and developed a friendship. And she stayed in touch. And then for the last 4 years, which is showing how sometimes I'm stubborn, but for 4 years, Renata, well, first of all, she reached out to me and I said, hey, it looks great. I'm not looking. And
at the time you were with another company, you were doing well.
I was doing consulting.
Oh, you were doing consulting.
I was speaking, coaching, and consulting.
Okay, but you're doing great. You like your life.
And I still own a fundraising company, which is a traditional business. Okay. I still had that. Mm-hmm. And, but Renata reached out to me. I said, oh, it looks really good, but I'm just not looking. So she would occasionally like send me a video or shoot me a text message. And then she would call me. She'd be like, oh my gosh, you've got to do this. It's the most amazing business ever. And I'm like, I know you believe that. And I believe you, but I'm just not ready. And so one day, and I remember this day, I said, Renata, I'll tell you what. On Sundays, I plan my week. So shoot me a text on Sunday. Every Sunday, whenever you want to. For the next basically 4 years, she texted me every single Sunday.
So you told her to send you a text on Sunday?
Just to say, hey, this is what's going on. She'd send me a new video.
Just to remind you.
Just so to let me know that, because here's one of the things I was doing. I wanted to see if she would actually do it. I wanted to see if she would stick with this particular thing. If it was real, right? She would build it. She would continue to grow as a person. She would build an organization. And so I wanted to see that journey. The problem is I was on the sidelines watching the journey. And during this time, I would periodically go and look at LifeWave. I would do the way I know how to consult companies. I would research. I would start getting behind the curtain, if you will.
Yeah.
I couldn't punch any holes in it. I couldn't punch any holes in it. Okay. And she just kept sending me these text messages. And Casey, my wife, she'd be like, who's that that's always texting you on Sunday? I'm like, it's Renata. She's like, is that life? She'd call it something else. Is that
LifeWave lady?
Is that LifeWave lady? And so it was so funny though, because 4 years, in that 4 years, I want you to think about this. In that 4 years, LifeWave grew from somewhere around $15 to $20 million in annual revenue to this year knocking on the door to exceeding $600 million in revenue.
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
I mean, that is exponential.
I sat on the sideline and watched that happen.
Well, you were not involved with it.
Correct. Now, the great news is, I think we're going to go to 10 billion. And so it doesn't matter if you got in from the 20 million to the 600 million or the 600 million to the 10 billion.
Yeah.
The idea is we are in a position now to go bless a lot of lives. We can transform. I mean, I was sharing this with somebody on the phone today. My mission is to help people win the inside game so you can dominate the outside game. What better way to win the inside game than allowing your body to heal itself, to regenerate what it needs to regenerate so that your body can do what God created it to do? And that's what got me so jazzed about LifeWave.
So what was your first experience with the product itself?
My first experience was, because I'm a naturally high energy person, I go all the time, I would never sleep. I mean, I would get 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep a night. After probably 1 week of the patches, I was sleeping 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, I agree. I had the same effect.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't sleep easily. And I was taking way too much other things like melatonin and all these things that have really wild, weird dreams.
Too much melatonin.
Right. And my dreams were all messed up. And I just would wake up in the middle of the night. Not good. And yeah, that was one of the number one things that got my attention as well. So it's interesting. And then do you have any other just stories you can tell?
Yeah. So number one, and this is a big one actually. I've always, when my football career ended, I blew up to almost 300 pounds. And it's because you live this lifestyle of you could do anything, you're like a machine. And then all of a sudden you're no longer a machine, right? And you're still doing the same things.
Yeah.
So you're eating too much, you're not exercising the same. We know the story, but I got way too big, right? So I decided after I got started with LifeWave that I was going to do that. You ever heard of 75 Hard? This workout program where you do 2 workouts a day and you eat better, whatever. But I was also wearing the patches. And I've been around nutrition and sports my entire life. So I kind of
knew
have
it well.
pretty good idea
Yeah.
of what to do. And so anyways, I lost 40 pounds in 75 days.
Just because you were doing what you were doing.
I was doing what I was doing.
But you added the patches.
It was very basic. I just walked an hour and a half a day is what I did in 2 workouts. Sometimes all at once or sometimes in 2 workouts. And I put the patches on. I didn't change much in the way I was eating, except I was a little cleaner in how I ate.
Yeah.
I lost 40 pounds. And I have pictures to show it.
Wow. Okay. But you weren't really doing much different, though. You just added the patches.
Patches.
That was it. Oh
Nothing with
that's crazy.
supplements, just patches.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. Okay, so then that's happening and that's all rocking and rolling. And then what did you start to discover about the company that was different about other companies that you
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing that's different is the CEO and founder, David Schmidt.
I've heard so many great things about David.
When Renata put me on a Zoom with him, so, you know, and I know you know this because of what you do, but you can feel a person's genuineness or if they're real or not.
Yeah, if they're authentic, if they're
The way I say it is real recognizes real.
Yeah.
Right?
I so hear what you're saying, yes.
Okay, so he is so real and so down to earth, yet at the same time, he's the smartest human being I've ever been in the room with. Via Zoom, and now I've been in the room with him. So I got off that first Zoom and I said, I might have just had a conversation with the smartest person I've ever met in my life, but I feel like I could like break bread and hang out with him because he's a genuine, just good person. So for me, that's a really big deal because when I evaluate companies, I do basically 4 simple things. I call it the 4 Ps are the 4 keys. So it's the people, it's the product, it's the plan, and it's the potential. And so check the box with David Schmidt right out of the gate. He's at the helm, you're in good shape. But then I watched David circle the wagons and put all of the people around him at a corporate level to do the things that he shouldn't be doing, right? Really smart people are really smart because they put people around them that are really smart doing what they do, right?
Yeah.
So I watched him do that. And then the other part to the people is people like Renata Lundberg, people like the team. It's that whole aspect of a community that comes around people to help them. And so I was winning because Renata had 4 years of experience of building this business. And so for me, it was the company and David Schmidt, and it was Renata and what she had built for 4 years. There's things in place that you can say, okay, now we can take this and we can continue to tweak it and turn it into a rocket ship. And so that was a big part of it, the people. And then I also proceeded to go through those other 3 Ps to kind of make sure it landed home for me.
And it did.
It did.
Yeah. And I know that there's other patches out there too, but what makes LifeWave patches better?
Yeah. You know, I'll tell you, one of my philosophies in life is we're not in competition with anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean that with anything, right? We live in an abundant world. There's plenty of it to go around for everybody. And I don't even pay attention to other companies and what is someone's doing. For me, it's this simple. And maybe this is my business mind speaking more than even the health side of it. When you talk about a company that manufactures, distributes their own product, a lot of people don't know this, but in this industry, that's rare. Most companies in this industry, if they're manufacturing, distributing, I mean like packaging the whole 9 yards and shipping out product, they're what we call a legacy company, meaning they've been around forever. They do multiple billions of dollars a year. You don't see a company that's doing 15 to 20 million that's manufacturing, distributing, packaging the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
That's a big deal. The other thing is it's 100% exclusive product that's patented. So when it's patented, it doesn't matter what somebody else does. They don't have this.
Right.
And we have way too many testimonies, way too many success stories, real life people with real world examples of lives being changed, right? I have stories already, and I'm new to this. I'm new to LifeWave, but I put patches on brothers and friends and family with low back issues, and they're like, hey, my back pain's gone. Oh, I'm sleeping better at night. Why is my shoulders not hurting anymore? All of these little things because of a simple 1-inch patch that takes 1 second to put on and 1 second to take off.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And And some of them you put them on and you're like, oh, I don't really notice a difference. And then like a few weeks later, you're thinking, oh, my ankle doesn't hurt anymore. You know, like it's you don't notice it until you notice it.
I'll tell you a story about that. So Casey, my wife, when she was a junior in high school, she was walking through the mall and someone pushed a little kiosk and didn't see her and sliced her Achilles in half.
Oh my God.
In half.
Ow.
So later on, many years later, she had scar tissue that built up. And so before LifeWave, she couldn't walk across the house without shoes on. It would hurt her, lots of scar tissue, a lot of pain. She put the patches on. In 1 week, she said to me, she was almost afraid to say it. She's like, I think I'm like 80% no pain. I said, really? 2 weeks, she says, I don't feel any pain. She walked with me every day for an hour and a half. No pain in her foot.
And did you have to continue the patches, or did it literally?
She's not going to stop doing the patches because she.
But
feels
other
so
ones
good.
you could do other. But
yeah,
did
and
she have to continue
She's doing
with
so many patches, right?
Wow, so it's a whole body thing.
And I will
It's
tell
like,
you,
yeah.
what's interesting about what you just said is if she feels a little bit of pain in her Achilles, she just puts a couple of patches on, wears them when she goes to bed at night. She wakes up, there's no problem.
I love it.
It's
I love
amazing.
it. It's amazing. Yeah, and I mean, I've had miraculous results with my cat.
Yes,
with his
I've
eyes. You've seen the pictures, right?
I love it.
So, how long have you been with LifeWave then?
So let's see, actively a handful of months, 4, 5 months.
Oh, very nice. Okay,
And we're just getting started.
You feel like the company is just getting started.
Oh, 100%. I tell people we're 20 years young.
Okay.
We're 20 years young.
And you know the business very well. And it really is.
I think I do. Yeah. And I think that like, here's why, because I tell people in this industry, there's a few things, and I'll just share this with you. I think it might help. So in this industry, most companies aren't creative with products. They're just, it's rinse and repeat. It's the same thing with a different label. They put one new ingredient and they tell everybody it's the latest, greatest fat burner.
Yeah.
Almost every company has a fat burner, an energy product, a sleep product, and then it's all the same.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that to knock them. I say, God bless you, go tear it up. People need it. You might have something that's really good. What makes LifeWave so unique is we have a 100% exclusive patented products with innovation that's cutting edge that nobody has. The things that we have on the horizon, and when you have technology, and I mean technology like what we're doing, and social media, and a cell phone, right? A cell phone, a Zoom, the ability to Zoom with people all around the world. I honestly believe those things, when you look at technology, you look at product offering, exclusivity to those products, and I guarantee you, if you walked outside right now and asked the next 10 people that walk down the street, have you ever heard of LifeWave? What do you think they would say? No,
because I know that because I've been talking about it. So, yeah.
So that is a very unique opportunity. There's around 100 million people worldwide in the industry of direct sales. That means there's 7,900,000,000 that aren't.
That are not, yes.
Right?
I love how you look at things. It really is about perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you love most about what you do?
I love people. That's it. I just love helping people. I love to see when people have the OIC moment in their eyes, that twinkling. I love to see people win. That's my biggest passion. And so no matter what it is, I'm always working to find a way to love on people and see them where they are, love them where they are and see them for where they can be.
This is a great way to do it.
This is the best way
Yes. So what would you say to somebody who's a beginner and they have never, ever had anything to do with network marketing or relationship marketing or, and they want to start, but they don't even know where to begin? And what is the difference between beginning with this company as opposed to other companies?
Sure. So I think the first thing is you want to go through and check all of those boxes, the 4 Ps.
Yes.
You want to really pay attention to the people. Don't just ask the people that are talking to you about the people because their view might be a little bit tainted, but really do some research. Like, I'll tell you something I heard the other day about LifeWave. In my 30 plus years of being in this industry, I've never heard someone say this. And this should tell you something about the industry. I heard someone say, if you want to know who David Schmidt is, just Google him. Other companies don't say that about their CEOs.
No.
They're like, no, let's not say anything. We're going to show you a PowerPoint that says everything about our company, right? Because it's smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of stuff going on. And again, I'm not trying to bash other companies. I have friends that make a lot of money in other companies, and they're great people, right? LifeWave is different because of the things I've already mentioned. But if you're brand new, you got to go through and check those boxes. You got to identify the people, the product, the plan, and the potential, right? You can get in a lot of things and it's a flash in the pan and put a little bit of money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Can you do something that will last 20, 30, 40, 50 years? It's willable and transferable to your children's children.
Right. That is what I love about it too. That's crazy.
To me, that's a key.
Amazing.
So if you're brand new and you've made the decision to join a company, it's super important that you have a system, right? A system, the acronym for system is if you follow one, you will save yourself time, energy, and money. And if you plug into a good system that's duplicatable, no matter where you're from, you can develop the skill. You can develop, if you've got the attitude, you've got the desire and the dream or the passion, anyone can do it.
At any age.
At any age. That's what I love about this industry, right? It takes the average person with unaverage ambition and gives them an opportunity that's equal, level playing field with anybody else.
And you love the product, and it's a beautiful product that changes, like you said, lives from the inside and the outside.
Inside out. Like my friend says, helping people look good and feel good from the inside out.
I love it.
Yeah, don't ever stop wearing the rose-colored glasses. And one of the things I've learned in my time in this business is too many people get too good, meaning they're just so good at the business. And everyone knows it, and nobody can be like them. I heard Renata say this the other day on a call. It was kind of funny. We have these different trips that you can qualify for, incentive trips. And someone thought because she is like at the highest rank in the company that she was treated different than everybody else. They assumed that she just went to the trip because of what she had achieved. No, she qualified for the trip just like a brand new person because she understands that you keep doing the things you did from the very beginning. Don't ever stop doing the basics. Don't ever stop qualifying for trips because it's the company's way of tricking you into being successful. Just take the free trip because every time you go on a free trip, your business grows.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I love the community. So that's one of the things that I love most about LifeWave is the community. And I've noticed how it's changed my health and my cat's health, and my health, and my family's health. My mother's in almost 80, and she's on them as well. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful company, something to be proud of. And I just want to thank you so much for this interview and taking the time to come here all the way to Los Angeles to be here at Studio Place.
Yes, it's an awesome place.
Isn't it awesome?
Studio Place is the place.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. I had so much fun.
Me
and
too.
I'm looking forward to coming back and hanging out some more.
Let's do it.
Awesome.